What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my top 25 rankings heading into week 6 of the 2016 college football season. So before I get into it, as always, I will post my entire list of my rankings in the description below. I've been away from YouTube for a couple days. Haven't been able to get to too many videos in the last couple weeks. I'm going to try to keep that up a little bit better. I'm going to be doing a very heavy week of videos this week just to try to catch up with everything and start giving you guys a little bit more content again. So let's hop right into it. Start at number 1. We got the Alabama Crimson Tide. So Alabama's looked like the best team in the country so far, in my opinion. Looked like the most complete team as well. Beat Kentucky pretty good last week. It'll be interesting to see when they play another quality team this weekend in Arkansas, really their second quality matchup this season besides Ole Miss. Second, we got Clemson. It's Clemson and Ohio State for me kind of neck and neck right now, but I don't think Ohio State's be a team as good as Louisville. I think OU was a good victory for them, but I don't think it was in the realm of Louisville. And then at number 3, we got the Ohio State Buckeyes. Like I said, kind of the same level as Clemson. Still undefeated, still looking good, like one of the best teams in the country. Number 4, we got the Michigan Wolverines, got their first tough win over Wisconsin last weekend. I was impressed. I mean, able to hang in there and, like I said, hang in there and actually beat a team that in my opinion, is, a top 15 team clearly in Wisconsin. So at number 5, I got the Houston Cougars. I don't understand why people are starting to look past Houston a little bit. It doesn't make too much sense to me personally. Houston's been a solid team so far this year, is definitely as good as any Group of 5 team, let alone almost any Power 5 team in the country. Number 6, we got the Washington Huskies, and man, they got a big win last week against Stanford. What was it, 44-6? Just proving that they are a top 10 team. They belong in the top 10. A little bit in question after their week 4? Yeah, week 4 game against Arizona. Number 7, we got the Texas A&M Aggies, able to take care of South Carolina last week. They have their toughest test of the season so far against Tennessee this weekend. Should be a very interesting game. And number 8, I got the Louisville Cardinals. Again, I do think they're actually still a top 5 team. Maybe Louisville and Clemson are both top 5, but we'll see moving forward how they respond to losing a very close game against Clemson last weekend. Number 10, we got number 9, we got the Tennessee Volunteers. Another crazy win last week against Georgia on that last-second Hail Mary. Undefeated so far, first season undefeated since their national title back in '98. Number 10, we got the Miami Hurricanes. Look great so far, beat a good Georgia Tech last team by 14. Number 11, we got the Baylor Bears. In my opinion, the front runner in the Big 12 right now. I believe they have a bye week this week, so we'll see what happens come next week. Close game against Iowa State, though, a little closer than they probably would have wanted. Number 12, we got the Nebraska Cornhuskers, able to take care of Illinois. Looked like a close game for a little bit. In the end, they pulled away, though. Number 13, got the Wisconsin Badgers, very similar to Louisville. If they can get another couple big wins, respond well to their loss, then I'll start bumping them back up again into where I actually think they belong talent-wise. Number 14, got the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss, a team that has looked good since starting 1 and 2. Like I said, just 2 tough losses against the Florida State loss ain't looking great anymore, but the Alabama loss ain't looking too bad. Number 15, got the North Carolina Tar Heels. I think this is where they belong. In North Carolina, just tough opening loss against Georgia, but since then they've looked very good. Faced really all types of adversity. We've got a lot of close wins against good teams, including that clutch kick last week against Florida State. Number 16, I got the Boise State Broncos, undefeated, beat Utah State last week. And again, looking like one of the better Group of 5 teams in the country. Number 17, got the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford, man, kind of disappointed me last week, no question, with their loss against Washington, but we'll see what happens with them moving forward, see if they can kind of diversify their offense a little bit, add a little bit more variety outside of Christian McCaffrey. Number 18, got the Florida Gators. Very close victory against Vanderbilt, again, closer than they wanted to. Probably got a big game against LSU this weekend after LSU looked very good against Mizzou in their first game with Coach O. Number 19 got the West Virginia Mountaineers. I mean, West Virginia has actually surprised me very, very, very big, or very much so far. I don't know if they're one of the front runners for the Big 12 right now. It's hard to say they're not right now. But like I said, moving forward, it'll be big to see what happens when they play, OU, TCU, Oklahoma State, Baylor, those type of teams. So, number 20, we got the Arkansas Razorbacks. I don't think they're really that good a team, I'll be honest. We'll see what happens this weekend against Alabama. Their only quality victory was against TCU, who has not looked good at all this year and isn't even in the top 25 anymore. So at number 21, we got the Oklahoma Sooners. Looked good in a victory against TCU last weekend. Their 2 losses are to 2 top 5 teams, at least in my rankings. So this team still has a chance, still has a good quality shot of winning the Big 12, and still has a good quality shot of making a good bowl game. Number 22, we got the Colorado Buffaloes. Finally cracked the top 25, and with good reason. They have a tough game against USC this weekend to prove themselves even further. 23, we got the Western Michigan Broncos. Big victory against Central Michigan last weekend, I believe. Have to look that up, but they've been very good so far. They beat 2 Power 5 teams as well, between Illinois and Northwestern. Zach Terrell to Corey Davis. I mentioned that at the beginning of the season. Big combination to watch out for this year, especially for the rest of the season. Number 24, I got the Virginia Tech Hokies. They had a rough loss against Tennessee where they kind of shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. But beside that, they've looked very good this year. Big game against North Carolina this weekend. Number 25, got the Air Force Falcons. Undefeated, big win against Navy last weekend. They've been impressive. I mentioned the name multiple times. They have one of the better safeties in the country with Weston Steelhammer. Had another big game last weekend with 2 interceptions. And then 5 outside. So I normally do this at first, but I thought I'd change it up a little bit this week. No particular order. And with 1, I got Utah. Tough loss to a good Cal team last weekend. If I could put it 26, I think they would actually be it. Like I said, moving forward, it'll be important for that. I think they're still in the AP poll, so for them moving forward, it'll be important to not lose to some of those mid-tier Pac-12 teams if they want to stay in the top 25. Number 2, we got Florida State. Tough season for the Noles so far. Pretty much college football playoff hopes all but dashed at this point. See if they can salvage something out of this season. I wouldn't really say salvage something, but I don't know. For a team to start out in the top 5, not looking great so far. Number 3, you got Maryland. I believe undefeated up until this point. Looking good so far. Game against, I believe, Minnesota or Penn State. It's Penn State this weekend, so big game. Proved themselves against a team that just beat Minnesota in Penn State. Number 4 got Oklahoma State. Big win against Texas last weekend. They'll have them a chance to get another Big 12 win this weekend against Iowa State. And the number 5 got Auburn. They played Louisiana Monroe last weekend, so not much of a test there, but two good wins in a row, and they're looking solid moving forward. So that'll pretty much do it for this video. Coming up, just for the next few minutes, I've got my college football week 6 predictions, and then my picks against the spread and my playoff predictions. But anyway, that's pretty much it. See ya.